And we have the energy to march after 500 days of genocide in Gaza, that we have the energy to stand with the people of Gaza. It's very painful to recognize that the genocide is still happening.
Yes!
It's painful to recognize that we were not able to stop the genocide on day one.
Yes!
It's painful and sad to recognize that the world has not only failed Gaza, but the world is complicit in normalizing the genocide in Gaza.
Yes!
This is not just about allowing the genocide to take place. This is not just about the U.S. being a partner in this genocide. This is not about it being a colonial, imperialist-led genocide by the U.S. and Western colonial powers.
Yes!
This is a genocide on human dignity.
Yes!
Brothers and sisters, there is no way for the world to normalize a genocide taking place, being live streamed today, unless the people of Gaza, unless Muslims, Palestinians, Arabs, brown people, the global South is dehumanized, demonized, relegated to the status of subhumans.
Yes!
We are, as Palestinians, relegated to the concept of biological being instead of human beings, so the West can normalize, justify, and celebrate the elimination of our people. We are seeing celebrations not only by Zionists, not by imperialists, not only by colonial powers, but by normal average Americans, the elimination of our children.
Yes.
Because to them, our children are not human beings.
Yes.
To the average person, it's imprinted in their subconsciousness. The Arabs and Palestinians are not human beings.
Yes!
500 days after the genocide, and we are stuck with the reality that we need to stop being obsessed with the idea of being the perfect victim.
Yes!
500 years of proof that the images and the footage of our children being shredded live on TV, if that's not enough for the world to know that we are the victims, all of our PR campaign and nonsense of begging the world to see us as victims will not work.
Yes!
This is the moment that we understand and recognize that the genocide and the war on Gaza is a war against human dignity.
Yes!
Brothers and sisters, when so-called Columbus came to America, or in Turtle Land, in 1492, he was able to eliminate millions of the natives by degrading them to biological beings instead of human beings. And that is how you justify, that's how you legitimize genocide and ethnic cleansing. So today we have to recognize that our fight is not for a difference of opinion. There is no two sides of the story. There is nothing to campaign for. We're not campaigning for political change. We're not campaigning for people to see us as equal human beings. We are campaigning to end the war in human dignity. The people of Gaza are a living example, no matter how painful it is for us to see the sacrifices, to see the pain, to see the genocide, to see our children, our men, our women, our elders being massacred in the streets. Yes, we salute their sacrifices, but we also need to learn that the fight for human dignity The fight for freedom, the fight for justice is now free.
Yes!
We need to stop being comfortable. We cannot allow the genocide to continue, because if this genocide continues in Gaza, we will be next.
Yes!
And I want to remind you, that the genocide in Gaza is part and parcel of the legacy of this land.
Thank you.
Yes!
It's part of the heritage of the American empire.
Yes!
It started in 1492 by committing genocide against the millions of the natives, all the way to enslaving black people, all the way in the last century of throwing Japanese in concentration camp, all the way to shooting students in Kent State University in 1970, all the way to destroying the student movement in the U.S. by intimidation. This is the heritage of the American empire. The Zionists do not control the American empire. The American empire is evil in its every essence of being. The American empire is leading the war against human dignity. I want to end by saying that we cannot go back to normal. That Gaza is the battle between good and evil. Netanyahu was right when he said this is a war between light and darkness. He only got the sides mixed up. This is a war between life and death. Because if human beings are deprived of their human dignity, they will be massacred like we are seeing in Gaza. And nobody will do anything about it. Otherwise, the world will not be silenced. Will not be silent on the images and the footages of our children being shredded to pieces. But they're okay with it, because our people are not seen as human beings. They're not seen as people worthy of having the circuitness of being equal human beings that must be respected. Their political aspirations must be recognized. On the contrary, they are seen below animals, because even animals will be treated better by the Western colonial thoughts. Starting today, we must escalate. Starting today, we must not be intimidated or silenced, because America. I don't want to end by saying that the student movements in the past 100 years have been facing crackdowns left and right. This is not just a Trump administration problem, as I mentioned before. This is the heritage of this empire. And unless we recognize that this empire is fighting against human dignity, that the greed is destroying the world, that the state of Israel, that settler colonial project of Zionism, is not a state of an exception. It's the state of normalcy of Western colonial powers. And we must put an end to all of it. Thank you very much.
I want you to welcome